G'day everyone. It's probably morning for you right now. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. This is part 2 of an inside look into Tom Brady. The next clip shows where Brady gets his humility from. Even though I don't know his parents, I just have so much respect and admiration for how they've nurtured their children. You can see from the way Brady conducts himself that he comes from good values, and that's a huge credit to his parents and sisters.
How much of this success can he take from his father in terms of what attributes did he get from you and his mom?
Well, we're, wait a sec. He's 42 years of age, or 41 years of age, and he was only under our roof for 18 years. So he's, he was just a very young man leaving San Mateo, heading off to Michigan and to New England. And so, frankly, we don't take much credit for it. We're hardworking, and he's hardworking, and that kind of stuff. But he's done this with the help of so many other people that, we're not in the rear view mirror. We're kind of in the side view mirror, but we're not the ones that put him here.
But if there's one thing that you told me, which I'm assuming he got from you, competitiveness. You hate to lose.
Well, yeah, we have a very competitive family. My wife's very competitive. My daughters are very competitive. I'm very competitive, and I don't know if that's. He's always been in a competitive environment,
and then he was super competitive, bro. That's one thing that I said, that I ain't saying Peyton wasn't competitive, but you just could feel it. I feel like you just could feel that competitive nature, like just hitting off Tom, man. What's a little story or a situation where you seen Tom just a super competitive person in that nature right there?
So it was probably the first time we played the Chiefs. We losing, nothing going right. And then we ended up getting a big play on defense. The offense get the ball back. They go down and score. You see the fire and the offense, they moving the ball. They come off to the sideline. TB come over. Like, man, we got y'all. We got it going now. Just get us a couple of stops. We're going to bring it back for us. And then, like, that passion, you can say it, like, all the time. And that's what I think you say, like, the difference between Peyton and Tom was, like, you can see the passion for the game. Like, Peyton Cole, he going to get it done. Right. But he don't show it as much as
he more calm and collected.
Tom. Yeah. So Tom go back out there, he doing his thing, and we fell short a little bit because we couldn't get the offense back to ball the last possession. But like Tom, like he been in every situation. He know exactly what need to be done, how to stay poised, and still had a fire to motivate the guys to get the job done. And that's what he been doing. Like I said, in practice, where we killed them boys one day at practice. Tom brought them over to the side. Hey, brought the offense up, talked to the offense. I don't know what was said, but the next day they was at our decks that whole day, man. And, like, that's the competitive nature from practice and in the game.
Straight up, that's the one thing, man. I love about Tom, man. Super, super, super competitive.
I used to hit him fly balls and up at Beresford Park, and we would rate his level of difficulty, and if he made a great catch, I'd give him an 8, and he'd whine because he thought it was a 9.5, but he would always strive to be better. So he has always tried to reach the pinnacle.
Did you ever give him 10s, or was it always like give him one thing to shoot for?
I may have given him one in 100,000 fly balls, but I don't even remember that.
In the next clip, Tom Curran talks about Brady's mental process leading up to him leaving the Pats. I know this issue has been exhausted, and I apologize to Pats fans for having to listen to it again. I just find it so fascinating, and I love to hear what you guys think.
The first order of business that he said when Howard Stern asked him when he knew it was done with New England, and the point that he mentioned as most likely for it was prior to the season, and I know you've been talking about that quite a bit, so I give you the floor on what you thought of that.
Confirmation just of where things were, and you heard it on the first day of training camp. His irritation was not having a deal at that point, that it was confirming for him that they don't want me around through my 43-year-old season. As I've told them, as they've told me that they would do, they're not going to do it. They were going to give me the Drew Brees deal for $2 and $50, and they're not doing it. They're not going to guarantee that second year. And that's when he kind of lobbed it across and said, ask Mr. Kraft, jokingly. And that was when he was turning, look, I'm done playing nice here. I'm done beating around the bush. You tell me why I'm not getting an extension. So I thought that was concrete. And also I think that, what was going on behind the scenes was more rancor, that there was a discussion that had to take place and an extension that had to be given and a raise that had to be given before the Patriots were sure that Tom Brady was going to participate throughout the preseason and not walk away from football, quite honestly. And they took care of that post-haste when I think it started to dawn on people how pissed he was. So
he was playing last. Did you get a sense during last season that this was a guy? And at what points did you have it in your idea confirmed that this was a guy he's playing throughout his last season in New England?
In Tennessee, when the Patriots went down there for their training camp meetings with Tennessee, and he basically was saying, look, we're just, I'm just an employee here. They don't ask me questions. They don't ask me about personnel. I'm not here to coach. He was really divesting himself, I thought, of the responsibilities that he wanted to have as a culture cultivator, as an on-field coach, because the team had started to marginalize him. So that's when I was like, oh boy, yeah, he is embracing you don't want me around? Well, I'll just be another cog in the machine. I'm employee number 12 over here working out of my locker. That was when I started to see it, and you saw it, Rich, time week in and week out, his inability to polish the turd that was the offense in his post game. He just wasn't going to do it.
I look at this situation and I think back to what opened the door for this conversation to happen. Bill Belichick kicking Tom Brady out of New England. It wasn't that Tom Brady demanded a trade. Bill Belichick decided that he was going to move on from Tom Brady. And that's been a part of Bill Belichick's way. That's been a part of the Patriot way. Moving on from a player a year too early rather than a year late. But with Tom Brady, it wasn't about not being able to play anymore. It was about not being supported properly, and that speaks directly to the head coach and Bill Belichick, not surrounding him with the requisite talent that it takes to continue to have sustained success in the twilight of his career. It ain't Tom Brady's fault that Bill Belichick only drafted one Pro Bowler since 2013. That's on the head coach. And so while I'm with you...
Well, that's on the GM, who's also the head coach.
Well, exactly, but it's still one and the same when it comes to the Patriot way. That's the same conversation, right? So when we start talking about who's more responsible for it, I will always lean toward the player because the coach can't go out there and execute. I remember when I played in college for Al Groh, Bill Parcells' disciple, former New York Jets head coach, he had a huge sign in his office. He said, coaches with good schemes and no talent coach at unimportant places. For the first time in 20 years, when it comes to the conversation about championships and who's competing for a Super Bowl, the Patriots were irrelevant. I don't think it's a coincidence that Tom Brady left when that took place. Keeping in mind, Tom Brady went down to a team that was 7-9, won a Super Bowl as a wild card.
Yeah.
Just quickly, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Roger still talks about the time, 6 or 7 years ago, you had him out to your home in LA and credits that for him thinking about taking his career to another level with all the nutrition and things like that. What do you remember about that visit?
Well, he beat me on the golf course, which I didn't like. We played 9 holes of golf, and he made a putt at the end to win. So I was a little pissed about that. But I've always kind of followed him. He went to Cal, was right where I grew up. Followed his story. Played against him in the preseason early in his career. And then, he's just been a great player. So what's not to like about his game? And just when you're a quarterback, I think there's always mutual admiration because you appreciate, man, it's a tough job. And it's when guys do it at a high level year after year after year after year after year, that says a lot about how they think about the game, how they take care of themselves, how they, how the organization feels about them, how their teammates feel about him. And he's just done an incredible job. So, yeah, we had a chance to hang out, and we were both in LA at the same time, and we've crossed paths, plenty of times over the years. And always enjoy my time around him. Still trying to get him back on the golf course, though.
Since losing Super Bowl 52 to the Philadelphia Eagles, Tom Brady has bounced back in a big way. Winning Super Bowl 53, countless career milestones, and breaking age barriers left and right. So has time healed the Super Bowl 52 wounds?
So how long does it take you to get over a loss like that?
You assume I'm over it.
Yeah, this is Tom Brady.
Come on now. That's a lot of mental scar tissue from that year. So that was a tough game. But no, they in a lot of ways, I think we learned from that year, and we came back stronger the next year, and we won the Super Bowl in 18. So I think everything is a matter of perspective. And I think when you play in that game and you play great teams, you're not going to win them all. This is not, the Harlem Globetrotters versus the Washington Generals. This is all about, tough competition against the best teams, and they deserved it that year. And, now a couple years later, we get a chance to play the organization again. We've had a lot of changes. They've had a lot of changes.
I honestly
totally
wonder how long it does take
huge
Brady
game for
to
us,
get over a
big
loss,
game for them,
especially those big losses.
The best team's going to win.
Somehow, I have a feeling he never truly gets over it. I know Brady will never get over the Super Bowl 42. Actually, I don't think any Patriot will ever get over Super Bowl 42. But I guess that's why Brady's as great as he is. He works so hard and gives everything. So when he loses, it's so personal. That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day. Thanks for watching.